You are Locked On Dodgers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, that was awesome. That was not what I expected, though. Wow, that was cool. I wish I'd have seen it. I was like, that's what's going to extras. I'll just go in the studio and wait. And then I was like, wait. Freddie Freeman just doubled in the tying run. Nice. That was just unexpected, which is great. That's what makes it fun. Welcome to the Dodgers Postcast. I am Pete Fox. Thanks for watching us on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. Thought this one would be going a little bit longer, but they got it done in 9. The walk-off win. You can also listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Tonight's episode of Locked On Dodgers Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as the playoffs have come to an end in the NBA and the NHL. The sports stop sporting like we want them to. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily, giving you free stuff on the regular. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Visit FanDuel.com/locked on to get started. That makes things a whole lot easier. Check them out. Locked on is the code for FanDuel.com. I am Pete Fox, again, covering sports in LA, dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Dodgers with a 6-5 come from behind win against the Diamondbacks in LA after a day off yesterday. Kind of felt a little bit to me as this game got started like they were just kind of, a little lacking of energy, a little, I don't want to say run down, but maybe lethargic, listless, all of that. Bobby Miller, though, was pretty good. They had the lead early 2-0, fell behind 3-2, grabbed the lead again on an absolute moonshot from Shohei Ohtani. One of the more easy looking home runs that I've seen him hit. We'll get into that a little bit later, but that one was absolutely scorched, not missed in any way, shape, or form. Another really fine piece of hitting from Shohei Ohtani. Good day for him with 3 hits. But then McCarthy reached on a bunt single. Moreno scored on an error because the anti-vaxxer Trinan can't throw the ball to first base, but still pitching pretty well, which is good. Joc Pederson then launched one down the right field line, which was unfortunate. And I thought, well, that's that. I don't know that the Dodgers are going to come back after that. But then when Shohei came up in the bottom of the 9th, struck out and looked pretty bad doing it. Head pulling out of the zone. Didn't seem to be loading really at all, which is something that I've noticed kind of recently from Shohei Ohtani is that, and this is part of what makes him great, is that he doesn't load a whole bunch when it comes to getting that much power. Usually you got to create that power from somewhere, and that somewhere is loading your hands by kind of pushing them back a little bit. Shohei Ohtani doesn't do that. He can create that sort of power just from where he starts, because he starts with his hands back a little bit. But like the home run he hit, it was all upper body seemingly. I know it can't be all upper body. His legs were absolutely involved, but he twisted and contorted and torqued and then kind of flicked the wrists, which made that ball just fly out of the yard, dead center field, 433 feet for his 27th round tripper of the year. That was a nice home run. And then struck out in the 9th. Didn't look good in that last at bat, but 3 hits. Can't really complain about that, including a 2-run home run. But then Will Smith doubled to keep things alive. And I was like, is that ball going to get out? We kind of thought maybe that would tie the game, but it didn't. Freddie Freeman came up and tied the game, coming off a fantastic June. Freddie Freeman in June, .319 batting average, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs. So that's good to see that he's keeping it going into July. I like that a lot because, in May, we talked a lot about Freddie Freeman struggling. and struggling from his perspective, and at times having, off nights, but then 2 or 3 hits the next night. So he went from May into June, and May was okay, not by his standards. We thought it was fine. I think at times we criticized and maybe over critiqued what he was doing, but ultimately it's good for most baseball players. Just wasn't good enough for Freddie Freeman standards. So into June, he started hitting the ball regularly. And again, a 319 average with 6 home runs and 19 RBI is fantastic. So the fact now that he's got it rolling just about every night, pretty regularly, he's getting up there and getting a couple of hits today. The game tying RBI, knocking in Will Smith, and then Teoscar Hernandez, the game-winning RBI into left field. He finished today with 3 hits, 3 RBI. Freddie Freeman, 2 hits, 1 run scored, 1 RBI. Will Smith, 2 for 5 with 2 runs, and Shohei Ohtani, 3 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBI, a home run, and 2 strikeouts. That's a pretty interesting day. That's a full day right there from Shohei Ohtani. The only thing he didn't do was walk. 3 hits. One of them was a gift in the first inning. But nonetheless, a double, a single. The only thing he didn't have was the triple today. Finished with the 2 strikeouts and 3 hits. But up and down the lineup, 12 hits in all. Bottom of the lineup, taking care of business. Shohei and Miggy are the only ones there that no, actually, Gavin Lux did not get a hit either, but he scored a run on a walk. Chris Taylor continuing to roll. I know that's hard for you to believe, people, but it is in fact true that Chris Taylor has figured it out. Average up to 167, which I know is nothing. That's how bad Chris Taylor was in May, batting like 80, 85. At times it was like below 50, I believe. But in his last 9 games, his batting average is right around 420, 2 home runs, and an OPS of 1422. That is insane over his last 9 games. So he's definitely figured it out. And that ball in the 9th inning, that ball was scorched down the line, ripped it to third. It was just a nice play by the Diamondbacks third baseman, Taylor. That's a Dodgers third baseman, sorry. Who's the Suarez made a nice play there to get them out of that jam after Pages. That was in the 8th, not the 9th. Pages led off with a single in the 8th. And then they did a sac bunt from Miguel Rojas, which, as you probably know, if you watch the postcast here on a regular basis, I'm a fan of bunting. I'm a fan of making things happen. I'm a fan of small ball. And that's what the Dodgers do on occasion. It's not a rarity. Even Joe Davis made the joke. What is it, 1980? Because we haven't seen that for a long, long time. But the Dodgers are doing it here and there, stealing bases. They are bunting, sack bunting, putting the ball in play. So are the Diamondbacks. That play, that scored the tying run from them. We're trying and threw it into, right field or down the foul line in right field was a sack bunt. It was just a really good sack bunt that could have been a base hit, and Trinan probably should have just ate it, but he didn't. He tried to make the play, and turned out to be a run for the Diamondbacks. So a fantastic back and forth game tonight. As I said, the Dodgers blew 2 leads, but come back to win it in walk-off fashion, 6-5 for win number 53. That puts them 20 games over 500. And 10 games over 500 at home. A really, really good place to be. And I'm glad to see that, they were able to battle back in this one. That's a fantastic feeling and definitely exciting to watch into the month of July with a win is fantastic. So we'll get into Bobby Miller's performance, which was pretty good. He went 5. We'll break that down a little bit here right after the break. I am Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. You can also listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. All right, tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast brought to you by FanDuel. I love sports. I love them so much that I never really want them to stop. As a matter of fact, tonight, as I was watching the Dodger game on the tablet, I had Wimbledon on. And I've mentioned this before that I love wagering on tennis. today's day 2, which is actually a good time to get in on the action because you can get dominant wins, and that's how you bet on tennis. It's total amount of games played. So if you think player A is going to dominate player B, then you go low on the amount of games. Or if you think it's going to be a 4 or 5 setter because it's a major, then you go higher on those games. But the playoffs have come to an end in the NHL and the NBA, so there's fewer games. So that's why you have to get in on other things like tennis. So FanDuel keeps the sports going, whichever sport it is. Get in on the action. All you have to do is open the app and dream up some bets. Anytime you're in the mood, you can make something happen at FanDuel. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head to FanDuel.com and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. All right, Dodgers a walk-off, come from behind, 6-5 win over the Arizona D-backs at the Ravine. Bobby Miller started, looked good right out of the gate, looked good for the first 3 innings, I think. He went 5 ultimately, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, 3 walks and 4 Ks, 1, 2, 3 in the first. Bobby Miller has not been good in the first innings during his outings. He's allowed 12 of his 14 runs in the first couple of innings. So when he got through the first 2 with no harm, no damage, that was a good place to be. So it felt like he was in control and in command, kind of rolling along. One of the things I was scratching my head about a little bit was the first strike pitches. He didn't get a lot of those. 9 of 22 first pitch strikes were could have been better. That wasn't very good. But I and this is another one that I'm not sure that I love. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, post some comments on this. Bobby Miller's 4 strikeouts all came with the 4-seam, all of them. Now, is that good because he's dominant with that pitch, or is it a little too reliant on that pitch? And maybe we'd like to see him throw something else. Gavin Stone, I'm keeping track of his strikeout pitches. He mixes it up. Very rarely is it the same strikeout pitch in back-to-back strikeouts. Very rarely. It's slider, cutter, changeup, fastball. He mixes it up, but he'll have a couple of sliders or fastballs for strikeout pitches. But ultimately, they're not back-to-back. Bobby Miller tonight, all 4 strikeouts came with the 4-seam. So at least that was working. But the home run to Walker came off of a slider. So that would lead me to believe that, maybe if he throws the 4-seamer there, a different outcome happens. And the Dodgers are still up at that point because that tied the game at 2 for the Diamondbacks. So I thought he was okay. Definitely a much better performance than last time. They chalked a lot of the runs that he gave up last time out to being in that was 2 outings ago. He had the 6 1/3, giving up 5 runs on 6 hits in Colorado. That was June 19th against the Rockies, and then June 25th in Chicago against the White Sox. He went only 2 innings, 3 runs on 4 hits. The Dodgers ended up winning that game because it's the White Sox. So his last couple of outings were a little shaky. I feel like this was better, a little bit more in control, and, hitting his spots, missed a few here and there, but it wasn't as bad. 3 walks, you don't love that, but ultimately 90 pitches, striking out 4, surrendered the 1 home run on the slider. Other than that, he was okay. So I don't necessarily criticize today's outing. I kind of give it a B+, B-. Daniel Hudson came in and struck out 2, gave up 1 hit, the rest zeros on 19 pitches, keeping his ERA under 2. Vesia was a little shaky. We haven't seen that in a long time. Vesia has been very dominant and a guy that we have hailed and given a ton of credit to here on the postcast. But tonight, 1 run on 3 hits, 20 pitches, but did get out of the inning. 143 is the ERA now. Blake Trinan went 1, gave up 1 run on 1 hit, had a walk and a K. And then Phillips gave up the home run, which was kind of surprising because both Eric Karros and Joe Davis were mentioning, and you couldn't help but notice that Evan Phillips' ball was just moving all over the place. He threw a cutter to Joc Pederson that Joc ripped down the line, but the bottom line there was that cutter didn't cut. It just didn't break. It ended up being a fastball right down Main Street. There was very little movement going on there. And yes, I think Phillips is buying drinks tonight that he got out of that one unharmed with a win, nonetheless, after giving up that home run to Joc Pederson, who was thrilled, pounding his chest and the like. So let's get to the Diamond Dogs list tonight. A little bit more lengthy than normal. Have to go beyond the 5, obviously, when you win and walk off in the 9th. Shohei Ohtani led off the game with a double. That was a hard hit ball, but not really all that hard. He even thought it was an out. He was kind of just cruising around first base and then realized that Gurriel Jr. Didn't catch it. Kind of bounced off his glove and went into the corner. And Shohei Ohtani with the leadoff double, but was stranded there, did not score. Or did he? Oh, yeah, they did score a run on that. And Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah, that's right. Teoscar knocked him in. I forgot about that because he was on fire too. Teoscar Hernandez, first inning RBI triple to right to score Ohtani there. That made it 1-0. So he's number 4 on the list. Big night, all in all, for Teoscar Hernandez with the 3 RBI. As for number 3, Freddie Freeman, a single in the 3rd to set up 1st and 3rd. Will Smith would score on a fielder's choice right after that. For number 2, Teoscar Hernandez, a leadoff single in the 6th. But more than anything, Teoscar Hernandez gets number 2, number 1, and number 1A for the game-winning single to left to score Freddie Freeman, who is also getting honorable mention for 1 and 1A for a RBI double in the 9th inning, scoring Will Smith, who also deserves honorable mention for getting on in the 9th inning and keeping the rally alive. Will Smith has definitely found something over the last few games, hitting the ball hard into the gaps and making it look so easy. As I've said over and over again, Will Smith is one of the best hitters on this team. And when he's locked in, he makes it look very, very easy. Kind of the opposite of Shohei Ohtani most of the time. Occasionally, Ohtani makes it look easy. Like the home run today looked absolutely effortless and flawless. I felt like it almost seemed like it was just a flick of the wrist. That's how smooth it looked. But the bottom line with Will Smith is he always looks like that. Will Smith looks the same when he's hitting a single, double, home run, or striking out. He never looks different. He's very, very consistent. Shohei Ohtani is kind of inconsistently consistent, right? Because he gets hits where like you can't get the ball past the guy. He's so big and so strong. The thing he has the most trouble with, Doval struck him out on a pitch up and in, heat up and in, and today he struck out in the 9th on the same kind of pitch, heat up and in. So that's kind of his weak spot there, because he sees it probably better up and in. So it feels like his head's not even anywhere close to the ball, and he's just uncorking, right? He's like, here we go. Hold on. I don't know where this thing's going to land. And most of the time it lands in the stands. Again, Shohei Ohtani, the home run tonight was number 27. Leading the league. It was a 433-foot bomb with an exit velo of 112. I'm not normally a fan of exit velo. I don't care about launch angle and all that stuff. But when those numbers are that big, You can't help but mention them. And again, the wrist action on that home run from Shohei Ohtani it seemed like it was all about the wrist action because he just absolutely torched that ball to center field. All right, Dodgers come from behind 6-5 the final to walk it off and beat the Diamondbacks, who are now 41-44, 19-23 on the road. Dodgers 20 games over 500 on the season, 53-33, 10 games over 500 at the Ravine after a day off. They look good. So hopefully they can keep this rolling and, put together a nice little winning streak. I think they need one of those. Padres lost today, so they gained a game on them in the West. I am Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. You can also listen to us on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Well, tonight's show also brought to you by Tax Network USA. Here on the Locked On Dodgers postcast, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team, whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs. It's year-round. You know what else we do here year-round? Well, we make you aware of very important things like collection season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you for unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals at tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have completed complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit a huge parlay and you need to deal with the extra taxes associated with that, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/locked on, and be sure to mention Locked On Dodgers postcast at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount off of their services. Tonight's show also brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app for DFS with over 3 million members. You know, I'm a fan. I'm a participant with Prize Picks. I lost a couple of days ago and have been reluctant to get back into the game. But as I mentioned, I love betting on tennis, and I will definitely be levying some selections with Prize Picks in regard to Wimbledon. You pick 2 up to 6 players and their stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. They also have Demons and Goblins, the newest and most exciting way to play Prize Picks. Squares marked with red demons or green goblins get you different payouts. Obviously, the green's a little bit easier, and being Tuesday, they also is today Tuesday? Yeah, it is. They lower the stat projections on Tuesday to make things a little bit easier for you. But if you want to go big, red demons pay more. They're a little bit harder to hit, but if you hit up to 4 of them, you can win 100 times your money. Also on Fridays, if you lose, you can get your entry fees back. Another great thing about Prize Picks, quick deposits and easy withdrawals. My initial deposit was super painless, and I received a 100% bonus up to $100. Prize Picks is available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. Use the code LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy. All right, Dodgers, a 6-5 come from behind win, getting ready to have a nice push into the All-Star break. It would be nice for a sweep here of the Snakes in LA, coming off that series against the Giants, which was a little bit ugly. I don't want to criticize them too much. It was a every time I put this one on, Mr. Seabat, I wear it and I think of you. I am in the process of acquiring another hat for my Dodger hat collection here for the postcasts. So here's what I'm thinking. Tell me what you guys think of this one. I love the new, what are those things called? City Connect hats. I love that cool logo, but I want it with the white hat and the blue bill. And for whatever reason, the one I found on, I don't remember what site it was, but it has like little tiny, like almost like colored dots, confetti dots on it. And I just thought that's a cool looking hat. I don't know. You could find like any hat for any team in any color these days. Like literally, there's brown, there's orange, there's yellow, there's wheat. I couldn't believe all the different styles that were available in Dodger hats. So I'm just like, there's so many options. I'm stumped. I'm just like kind of brain locked. So I told my daughters, for my birthday, which is coming up here in about a month, find me a cool Dodger hat, right? Something different, something unique. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll probably end up getting that white one with the blue bill and the new City Connect logo. I think that one is cool. But Mr. Seabad, it does kind of remind me a little bit of, because it's got a D in it as well. It's got a Dallas-esque look about it. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I definitely need to add to the collection. I had this old white and blue one that was like their spring training batting practice hat from like, I want to say like 20 some years ago. I remember I bought it right at the same time when the Angels were owned by Disney, and they had that 1 or 2 seasons. They had those god awful uniforms with the wing, and they were terrible. The Jim Edmonds era. And those were just the worst Angel uniforms ever. And the Angels have been pretty consistent throughout their history of having cool uniforms. But that one year, Disney just stepped in it. And of course, that was the year I decided to go buy that expensive pro, new era MLB batting practice hat. So I hated that hat so much, I got rid of it. And I think at the same time, for some dumb reason, I got rid of the Dodger one too, which I loved. And so I've looked everywhere for it. I can't find it. And even I wanted to buy it and replace it, I can't find it. So, figures. But this new City Connect with the white hat, the blue bill, and the confetti, it's pretty cool. Bottom of the lineup tonight, 1 for 13. Thanks for pointing that out, BC. Way to bring us all down. Bottom of the lineup, though, has been very good of late. So you can't complain when they have an off night here or there. Now, if they go on that kind of streak for the next 2.5 weeks, then I'm with you. But you should at least be happy that the one hit came from Chris Taylor, who, should I mention once again, is batting over 400 in the last 9 games with 2 home runs and an OPS of 1420 something. Because tonight it probably went down a little bit going 1 for 4. But going into this game, he had an OPS of 1422. And the balls that he's not getting base hits on, he's not up there looking stupid. He's squaring the ball up and hitting it hard. Just sometimes he hits it at people. So, there's Jeff. Haven't heard from Jeff in a while. What's up, Jeff? BC can always be counted on to let you know how bad the bottom of the lineup is. Yes. Well, someone's got to do it. I spend a little time pointing out how good they are, right? When they're good. And when they're bad, I kind of just gloss over. But when they're good, we point it out. And they've been good of late. By the way, don't forget to check out Jeff and Vince on the Locked On Dodgers postcast. They'll be on when I am done, which will be in about a minute. So they'll be coming on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel and the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed, doing the Locked On Dodgers Daily podcast. Wrapping up a good one tonight. A come from behind 6-5 win. Evan Phillips gets the win, his first win of the season. He threw 13 pitches there in the 9th, gave up the home run to Joc Pederson, but was saved by Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, and Teoscar Hernandez. Bobby Miller, no decision, but he went 5 and looked pretty good. As for the Diamondbacks, the loss is handed to the closer, Seawald, who is now 0-1. 6-5, the final. Shohei Ohtani with his league-leading 27th home run and continues to lead the league in hitting with a batting average of .320. 6-5, the final. Dodgers now 53 and 33. Hold on. What did I say wrong here? I said something wrong about Jeff. Locked On Dodgers channel, not the Locked On Sports LA. Okay. My bad. So you find Locked On Dodgers on the Locked On Dodgers channel, not the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. All right. Sorry about that, Jeff. I didn't know that. So many channels, so much content for you guys. It's all over the place. So check out Jeff and Vince, Locked On Dodgers channel, not Locked On Sports LA. That's my channel, along with Gavin, who does the Angels and all the other stuff, I guess. So there you go. They're coming up here in just a little bit. I am going to wrap it up. Thanks for your participation. Thanks for the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow, right after game 2 of this series, when the Dodgers look for 2 in a row. Who is pitching tomorrow? Let's see real quick. It is Gavin Stone. So that's a good spot for the Dodgers to be in, taking on Christian Mena. Again, first pitch a little after 7 o'clock. Dodgers Diamondbacks at the Ravine. Thanks for checking us out here on the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. And of course, you can download and listen wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow.